Now, Congressman Mike Waltz, who's joining us live this morning on WNDB. We have a lot to get to, Congressman. I want to begin by asking the question that listeners are still asking me, if you've been able to find out why we still have National Guard troops still in Washington. Does it have anything to do with the moving target of the State of the Union address, which we still don't know when that's going to be?
Excuse me, Mark. Sorry about that. Yeah,
that's okay.
Target keeps moving. That target keeps moving, apparently. As I've told you, I've requested information and briefings from the head of the National Guard, from the Secretary of the Army, the Secretary of Defense, and the Department of Justice. And I still have yet to see a specific threat that requires more troops in the capital than Afghanistan and Iraq combined. At first, of course, it was the inauguration. That's fine. But then it was some vague notion of March 4th, referring to some online chatter, Marcus. And now it's the State of the Union. But if online chatter, which will always be there, is the metric for having a brigade of troops on our capital, then I think some people aim for them to be there forever.
Is it possible the president will just mail this one in? He's not constitutionally required to give a formal address before Congress. He can mail in the State of the Union. Are you thinking that might be what's going to happen?
I think that's absolutely possible, or he could also give an Oval Office address. But we do not have a date at this point, even though this unspecified date is being cited as a threat that requires so many troops here.
Okay. Still on the list of things you're working on is the Beijing boycott. Where are we on that, sir?
Well, it's gaining momentum. Newt Gingrich, former Speaker Newt Gingrich, and I are working on it. Former UN Ambassador Haley has a piece out. The head of the Canadian Conservative Party agrees. The United Kingdom Foreign Minister has come on board. So we're gaining steam, Mark. At the end of the day, we cannot reward Beijing with all the financial benefits, all the sponsors, and the global legitimacy that comes with the Olympics after unleashing the coronavirus on the world, covering it up, and the genocide that's going on in Western China. Every time we've done that in the past, whether it's 1936 or with the Sochi Olympics and Putin, or even the 2008 Olympics with China, bad things have happened afterward because authoritarian dictatorships, when they are emboldened and legitimized, take drastic action that's not good for the world.
You've also introduced legislation that waives the naturalization process fees for the families of Purple Heart recipients to help them become Americans. And I know you sent a letter to the president for him to consider his immigration policies, which are, creating a real issue with the pandemic here. But let's talk about the Purple Heart recipients first. I wasn't even aware that this was an issue out there. What's that all about?
Yeah, it came to my attention when I visited some Special Forces soldiers in Walter Reed. One of them had passed from his wounds. His spouse was waiting in line for her. She was doing everything as she should for her naturalization. But they were facing some financial hardships. And it just occurred to us that, they have given so much to this country, Purple Heart recipients, Gold Star families. The least we could do is waive their fees if their spouse is an immigrant going through the process. And separately for the president's immigration policies, he's opened the border, Mark. He has stopped a lot of the security measures that we had in place. And then he's also allowing particularly children, when they come across, rather than having them wait in Mexico for their asylum claims or other types of adjudication, they now can be released into the United States. So the word has gotten out, and we are seeing record numbers of kids and families coming across the border. And, it's worth reminding everyone, not the United States government, Doctors Without Borders, an international NGO, estimates that a third of the women making that transit suffer some type of sexual abuse. Many of these kids are being trafficked. The cartels are in charge. And now with this reckless policy, we're seeing the numbers spike again when it was, under President Trump, it was largely we weren't there yet, but it was largely under control. Any
comment? I guess the president has offered a hit on Syria. Can you tell us what provoked that?
Well, it was the ongoing rocket attacks by Iranian-backed militias that were attacking our facilities, killed an American, wounded others. I am glad to see the Biden administration, frankly, take a play out of the Trump playbook and impose costs, try to reestablish deterrence, and make these militias pay. I think there needs to be more direct, more of a direct action against Iran itself. Iran is happy for these militias to go tit for tat with our soldiers on the ground. But at least it was a step in the right direction. It wasn't full appeasement and just turning a blind eye as Iranian-backed militias attack our soldiers.
There is CPAC that's going on this weekend. Congressman, are you speaking or will you be attending?
Fortunately, Mark, I had a long-standing family event and family wedding that I'm in, and that conflicted. So I've spoken many years in the past. I won't have the opportunity to this year, but sometimes family comes first.
And the president is speaking. Former President Trump will be speaking on Sunday. I think he's really going to focus on moving forward. There's been a lot of speculation about what the president would say. Any thoughts?
Well, I hope he does cast a forward-looking vision, and I hope he reminds everyone. I mean, he got 8 years of work done in 4, despite everything that was thrown at him. And I hope he reminds everyone that he was the first president ever to put funding in place for historically black colleges, permanent funding, equal opportunity zones, justice reform, tax reform, VA reform, rebuilding the military, Middle East peace, everything we did for Israel. Just really walking through his legacy and then how we want to extend that agenda going forward. And, those policy achievements are just indisputable. That's what I hope to really see him walk through.
Congressman Mike Waltz joining us live this morning on WNDB for the briefing. Congressman, appreciate your time so much. I hope you have a great weekend.